Video recording. Hi guys, welcome to our YouTube channel. Thank you for having us here. This is we're switching things up a little bit, So on today's vlog, I am introducing you to how to see life from the perspective of Daya. Daya is going to be our guest on the show today. Daya, introduce yourself. Tell the guests, tell the audience who you are. Let them meet you. Tell them how amazing you are. Greet them. Say hi, guys. Very good. Did you guys hear that? Yes, he said hi. All right. So yeah, thank you for watching today's show. That was we just wanted to introduce Daya to you guys. We hope you learned something. How to know your identity. You know how to bark, how to growl. If you don't know your voice, Daya is teaching you. Daya, thank you for coming on the show today. It's been amazing having you. Hey people of the tube, welcome back. Woo! Always a pleasure to have you guys come back here week after week to see what I'm up to again, how I'm exploring different topics and how we're seeing them, perspectives and all of like. If you're new here, this is Lisa's Lens and I'm Lisa the Lens Girl. I have a guest here who doesn't really send anybody. You can see how he doesn't really care much for what we're talking about. See the direction of his face. But if you're new here, this is Lisa's Lens. Welcome, drum rolls. Just as an introduction, what we do here is we explore narratives, perspectives, some of the opinions that we hold dear or that shape the way we see life, because seeing really is everything. And the reason why we explore this is because when you understand the lenses that shape how you view life, you're then able to either done on corrective lenses to change how you see life and how that's affecting, or how those are sort of limitations for the possibilities or potentials that you can realize, and some of the growth and ways you can stretch and be better and improve versions of yourself. So welcome to this channel. I'm really glad that you stopped by today, and I hope that you find value here and become a part of our community, okay? On today's in today's video, I'm going to be switching things up a little bit. It occurred to me that in this conversation we're talking about identity, seeing yourself, personhood, understanding who you really are, and how that affects the way you come at life. One of the ways in which this presents itself is the relationships and the networks that you have or that you form. Just like the author, James Clear, who wrote the book Atomic Habits, he said something about how when you... Hey, Daya, are you about to leave me? Okay. So James Clear spoke about part of your journey in realizing and understanding your identity is that your actions and behaviors are you actually really just casting votes about the person you want to be. And on today's episode, on today's conversation, I believe that the person I'm about to introduce to you all is a reflection or a vote I'm casting for the woman I want to be, because she's amazing, she's incredible. In fact, if not because some people will watch this video now and come after my life, I identify as a bestie. If for nothing else than we're both lock girlies. I have locks on, she has locks on. Daya, bye. See you later. To meet my guest on today's episode.
Hi guys.
Drum rolls again.
I'm glad to be here.
Exciting. Really glad that you accepted to be the first official guest on the show.
What does that mean by, what do you mean by first official? I'm the first.
Yes, first by way of intention, but because we didn't happen to be in the same city for a while, I happen to have shot other content with some other people.
Oh, wow.
But she's officially my first ever guest on this channel. Officially, is the thought accounts.
No, that was not the plan. The plan, guys, let me just let you know. In the words of Chris Brown.
Chris Brown, the philosopher.
These
girls ain't loyal.
Betrayal.
No, but I'm glad that you're on here. I mean,
I don't know if I'm so glad.
Take out some parts of your gladness.
No, I don't know. But it's okay. I'm here already. I'll do it for the, what do you call them? Tubers or
for people of the tube, for the subscribers,
I'll do it for the tubers. Hi guys, but seriously, thank you for having me here.
My pleasure, absolutely. So glad that you're here. Yeah. So something that you guys should probably know is The world calls me Liz because everyone is pretty used to the name having
I'm
a
not
Z.
part of the world.
Oh well,
I'm part of the kingdom.
but I am. But I officially have an S in my name. So I'm actually Lisa, but folks call me Liz. So you probably hear variations of that. In case she sleeps and calls me Liz, it's fine. I'm still the same person. But yeah, let's take it up. Before we go into conversation, I just want to really celebrate the amazing work that you're doing at ClearWaters. And I know you're going to introduce yourself formally and officially, but I think it's amazing to finally decide someday, you know what, I'm going to do this thing, not minding. If you guys remember one of my very first videos, I talked about some things that we've considered cliches, but that actually hold a wealth of meaning and truth in them. Stuff like, time really doesn't wait for anyone. Stuff like, you actually really need to put yourself out there. Just take the first step, whether or not you feel qualified or not. In fact, my starting this YouTube channel is a testament to the fact that you just need to actually start. And in my second month, like play, but that was because I took the step to start some days. And I'm really glad that we are doing this. So, without further ado, please let's meet you, introduce yourself, and we can take it from there.
Okay, thanks, Lisa. I need to get used to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you again for having me on. My name is Bodunde Onemola, and I think I will introduce myself by way of what I currently identify as in this current
Yes,
season
identity.
of my life. I'm a life coach at ClearWaters Co. And I'm a lover of Jesus. I think these are the two things that are top on my list of how I identify myself right now. And not that I think that your identity changes, but I think that
Life is fluid.
life is fluid, and yeah, I think these two things represent how I see myself
Yes.
currently. So I think I'll stop there. You can ask me any other questions about what I've done, but
Yeah.
this is who I like to identify myself as right now. Yeah.
Speaking of how you see yourself, identity, and all
Mhm.
of that, what would you say was the clincher? What inspired you to get on this journey of being a life coach?
Sure.
And why Clearwaters? Why that name Clearwaters?
Great questions. It's funny when you think about it. About 7 years ago, I had no idea what a life coach was. Like all I had heard about coaching was, for sports and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. So like a life coach. What is a life coach?
Really
I
mean
don't
it.
know
Stands for,
what is
yeah.
it. But it's funny that 7 years after, this is who I'm identifying as. But my journey of my coaching journey first started off with myself being coached, and just the transformation that I saw in my life through that process of myself being coached. I saw just how beneficial it was for me in understanding who I am and what I have to offer into the world, and what the meaning of life is for the most part. And so that was my journey to that. And then once I was able to get to a point where life wasn't feeling so unfulfilled anymore, I then started to look for, okay, what is my specific purpose in life? And that is sort of what led me to eventually articulating that in this season, this coaching and helping people become the best version of themselves is what I want to do. And then why ClearWaters?
Sorry, just to drop
Yeah.
in something that a picture that just came to mind when you started talking about coaching
Mhm.
and helping people become better versions. There's also the concept of birthing. I
Okay.
think that's something that we can really associate with coaching. It just came, the picture just
Okay.
crystallized when I'm like, I know, I think we need to talk about this a little bit. Like a doula, when a woman is about to give birth, when it's about to produce something,
Yeah.
produce something that she's carried for so long,
Yes.
give birth to, bring to life something that is probably going to be bigger than her or bigger than, it is that person who stays by her side to coach
Yes.
her to realize that potential of that pregnancy or what she's been
that.
carrying
Yeah.
is such an amazing picture of the important work that you do with coaching.
Yeah. No, I think that is such a powerful picture.
Image,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I think two things, maybe one thing I want to point out.
Yeah.
So the coach or just as the doula is not the originator of the
the
baby
seed of the baby,
of the baby.
yeah.
A coach is not the originator. It's not a coach is not a coach is a guide and is a partner, but not
Visionary.
not the originator.
Yeah.
And that's what, so a coach comes beside the person who has the gift, who has the baby, and helps them push out the baby. And I think that, and that's for me is powerful, because in life we are, I think, especially in growing up in the Nigerian context and maybe the African context, we're kind of being from birth up until probably secondary school, no, university, we're kind of being told that this is who we should be, and this is our concept. This is the concept of how we should fit into the world. But in coaching, we're more bringing out what is already inside of you, and I think that is powerful. It's a trusting of the fact that the person is complete in themselves without any external influences, and I think that was powerful for me.
And humbling too.
Yeah.
It must be humbling.
Yeah.
That much trust, because it's like the way doctors, the way doctors sort of care for the physical health and well-being. For you, it's even more powerful because you are sort of also a guide, or a shaping or helping the mental, entire physiological well-being of a person to be the best version of themselves.
Yes,
it really must be humbling. Okay, thanks for going down that that path to just help us visualize better what coaching really is. I think the name of your coaching, should I call it outfit
Practice.
or practice? Oh yes, thanks. That's a good word. The way coaching practice is very fascinating to me. Why ClearWaters?
ClearWaters. So I'll tell you how I came about the idea. But I guess the name came from what I call my journey to clarity.
Okay.
But then the specific reference to ClearWaters came from my coach, Umfon Ekpo. Shout out to her.
Oh. In case she ever sees this, hi Umfon.
Yeah. So she came. There was a coaching session, a group coaching session we were in, and someone asked in the class, and I can't remember exactly how they worded it, but it was something like, how do you know when you've done enough coaching, or where you've come to a point where you can stop getting coached, or you can stop yourself personal
development? Yeah.
Well, I guess you're not stopping, but how do you know when it's time, like you've gotten to a sweet spot where you don't necessarily need to be coached, or you've excavated everything that needs to be excavated. I think excavated. I think that was something around that. And then she used the analogy of a well. She said, when you're digging a well, at the top, when you're at the top levels, you see a lot of mud you see a lot of muddy waters when you're at the top. But then you get to a point that you keep digging and digging. You get to a point where you get to the water table, and you get to clear waters.
Wow.
And that's the point where there's no muddiness. At least the muddiness content is reduced, and then you're able to see clearly, clear waters. And so that's
and produce fresh.
Yes.
The idea of spring. Wow, that's a powerful image, right?
Yeah. So that was where the name came from, and I titled my journey to ClearWaters, because that's how I felt, where I could see just the difference between where I was before coaching and where I was able to. Yes, was just clear. It was clear, and I could see a path towards the future in a way that I couldn't do before. Yeah. And I have to add as well that I'm a person of faith. So my entire personal development journey was absolutely tied to my I never found myself outside of finding God. So there was always the more I discovered him, the
More you
more I
saw
saw myself.
yourself.
So it
That's so
wasn't.
amazing.
It was never separate from my
Mm.
understanding of God.
Mm.
So I want to point that out because I don't think I would have personally come to the clarity that I have come to without my understanding of God and that grounding of who He is. Yeah. So.
I think it's amazing, and I think it's amazing that you're pointing this out because I also think it's a message that I want to sort of echo
Mm-hmm.
that you really can understand the purpose of a product outside of the design or the plan of the manufacturer.
Yeah.
You know, the way, sure way to see yourself is to see how God sees you.
Yeah.
Is to
Yeah.
see God. So the pursuit of self must begin from the pursuit of God.
Yeah.
You can't
Yeah.
separate both of them.
Yeah. And I think
Yeah.
that I didn't know that. I didn't know that, but somehow, I mean, God is merciful, and
He
I,
is.
I was finding myself, and then somehow He inserted Himself because He. I mean,
That's incredible.
and yeah, and yes, I
Yeah.
wouldn't have had it any other way. I wouldn't
Yeah.
have had it
I
any other
really am
way.
happy for you that you've gone on this journey and then it's sort of things have sort of come to a head now. You have this clear picture or clear waters. Amazing. How has the journey been like for you? When did you start off formally or when did you launch officially?
So I started informally sometime last year,
Okay.
April last year. Took
Last
on a
year.
couple of clients. But launched like publicly
Okay.
in December last year,
Ooh.
on my birthday. So that was like my birthday gift to myself and I guess to the world.
Nice.
And to the world, yes. As I say that. Because I do believe that everyone is a when we walk in our purpose, we're releasing the gifts that have been put in us to the world.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that's why I use the word
Yeah.
to the
To the
world.
world.
Yeah, because sometimes she accuses me of being proud. So I'm
Oh,
trying.
that was where I was coming from.
But it's
Woo!
really,
You don't toot your own horn. Who's going to do it for you, right?
yeah. So it's
Okay.
not really intent. I was not trying to be proud. Not
Yeah.
in this instance.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm just curious as to how that journey has been like for you so far.
All right. Yeah. So it's been stretching. It's
Mm.
been walking on in unknown territory
Mm.
because this is completely different from what I was doing. I was working in public health, international development, climate change. You know, it's there's security in that. I know like the pathway. I don't have to put myself out there. I don't need to appear on camera.
To be fair.
I've never had to do any of the things I'm having to do now. But
Picking up new skills.
new skills, man. But it's been so rewarding.
Mm.
It's been great to see that little old me can affect lives. Even in since December, just from December up till now, I'm seeing why God wanted me to launch because I'm seeing when I speak to people, when I'm speaking to people, I'm like, oh, okay, I understand why. I understand why this is needed. I understand because people are just living below below their potential and they're allowing accepting of how this is how life should be. But life can life can be so rewarding.
Yeah.
Life can be so beautiful
So full.
and yes, and inspiring and so it's been great and I can't wait to see what's
journey.
what's ahead and how many people, how many lives that I can impact because really that's what
This is
concerns me. Yeah, how many lives can I affect?
Oh, that's what you just said now is because I don't think it's designed for any one of us is to live in sort of like in a bubble or like in a vacuum outside of the way God designed the world is for us to influence, impact, each the folks around us, influence our space, our circle. So if you are living in any way that is not contributing value or touching lives or impacting lives or helping people see the possibilities that exist or the possibilities that they are capable of, you're probably living a very selfish life. You're probably living a life that's not as rewarding as it can be. So when you talked about how you're helping people see because seeing really is everything. I say this a lot on this
Mhm,
channel.
mhm,
Seeing is
mhm.
everything. How you see
Yeah.
life, um, affects everything. And when you talked about how that on this journey, you've seen how rewarding, how it has also stretched you. I
Mhm.
can totally relate with this because it's funny how I've I've always thought that conversations are important in life and how we see life. I always like to have conversations with people. I've loved to facilitate these conversations, but I've always shied away from putting myself in the limelight. This YouTube thing is a no one. I don't think anyone. I don't think I I would have seen it coming. I cringe at the sound of my voice. I cringe when I see videos of myself. It's a constant battle. But I'm
Mhm.
realizing that the more that I because I took that first step and I stopped making excuses,
Mhm.
not only am I seeing direct impact in also inspiring other people to do the same,
Yeah.
to push out of their comfort zone and do
Mhm.
stuff that seems unfamiliar but is helpful. So it's like a chain
It's a
reaction.
chain
So
reaction.
because
Yes.
I said, you know what, Lisa, no more excuses. You're going to do this. You're going to have these conversations, whether or not you feel comfortable doing
Mhm.
them.
Mhm.
I was able to come out of that comfort zone, inspire someone else to come out of that comfort zone, and someone else to come out of
That's
that comfort
fine.
zone.
Yeah.
So it's like it's that sort of that chain reaction, and
Mhm.
it has stretched me. The more I keep doing it, now I'm getting less and less mortified when I look at videos of myself.
Yeah.
I cringe less because I mean I have to edit my videos, don't I? And I'm seeing pictures and videos, and I'm realizing that it's getting easier. But if I
Definitely.
remain in that comfort zone, I kept making excuses,
Yeah.
time would just keep passing, and I wouldn't have much to show for it by way of how I'm influencing lives and
Mhm.
impacting others. So it is amazing that I really, even though saying this feels like it's in my place to say, but I really am proud of you for doing this.
Oh,
Yeah.
why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't
No,
you
I
feel
don't
like?
know, but I don't know what I'm wondering if I'm supposed to tell somebody else that I'm proud of them in that way because I'm also on my journey. But to be fair, I no, but I actually feel like I'm proud that you are doing this because you're
Mhm.
actually doing stuff that's bigger than you. You are pushing yourself beyond the boundaries of what you see yourself as, and it's opening up a wider, possibilities, a bigger world, a richer, more meaningful life. Yeah. So
No, thank you. And
yeah.
I think I will return the what's the word?
Return the
The
sort of like the compliment or the
compliment.
gesture.
Jeez, when you're on camera, the words don't, fly out of your
I
head.
promise you that happens to me all the
Yes,
time.
because I mean, I think Liz from the first, probably like the first year I met her, I had told her you need to be. I sent her Jackie Perry. I
Oh
probably
my God,
Jackie Hill
Perry.
Perry's. I'm like, this is who I see you as.
High praise, guys.
This is who I see you. Yeah, this is. I sent her maybe probably 2 or 3 times that I remember. Then somebody else, a Nigerian person. I'm like, yeah, this is who you are, and yeah, so I'm really, really happy and
Proud.
proud that
Yes.
eventually you've come to do it. It's fine. They say when you wake up is your
It's your
morning. So
morning.
time has passed, but it's okay.
Start.
Yeah, as long as you took the first step and you're continuing to take the first step,
Yeah.
I think that is the
Yeah.
beauty. Yeah, that is.
You see how association, you see, because she's proud of me, just I'm proud of her because we're both doing amazing stuff. So go inspire yourselves, your circle, so that all of you can cast votes for the kind of persons that you want to be.
Mm-hmm.
As we were just speaking, it occurred to me that there might be some persons who probably the idea of this life coaching thing might not be as familiar to,
Mm-hmm.
or the significance or the importance of it. So
Yeah.
can you tell us a little bit about why this culture or this element or this concept of coaching
Mm-hmm.
and self-awareness is important for every individual? It's essential for their growth, for realizing their potentials, and
Yeah.
just crystallizing the kind of lives that they should ideally be living.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Of course, I'm happy to talk about this
Mm.
again because
Mm.
I've seen as a beneficiary of coaching what it's done for me.
Yeah.
I think it's important that everyone find some avenue to get to the point of um, self awareness.
Mm.
And I think that coaching is just one avenue. I think there's different ways to get to the same point of self awareness.
Yeah, fair.
But coaching is one way, and I think it's an important I think it's an important
Avenue.
avenue for self-discovery.
Yeah.
And I think the what I want to speak about more is self-discovery, the importance of self-discovery, because um, self-discovery is important not only for yourself as an individual, it's important for the world in general. And but first for you, I think I see everyone is born into the world as like, so everyone that comes into the world is probably born as a gift in a gift box. So where everyone we're all given to the world as a gift box, and then inside that gift box are the talents, our passions, are the things that we are meant to give to the world. However, I think that many of us go through life without ever unwrapping that gift box.
That's sad.
We're passed on from our parents to school to work, and all through that period, we're never encouraged to just dig into that gift box and see what is in there. So many times we're unaware of what has been put into us. Is it I don't know, is it the talent for speaking? Is it the talent for influencing? Whatever that thing is it talent for administration or whatever, maybe sometimes we see, sometimes we take out the bowl, we take out the wrapping paper, and I think we get to the point of the packing styrofoam.
Oh
But
yeah.
we never really dig deep, or maybe we do the first level, but of we see the first level. But many times we're not encouraged to really search and see, okay, how do all these things that have been, what number one, what are the things that have been put inside me, and then number two, how do all these things fit together, and what am I supposed to build? How do they all fit together to influence who I'm supposed to be,
Present
to the world? And I think that so coaching helps to do that. You're, as I said, excavating and checking. And I like this saying that coaching is digging for gold, not digging for dirt. And there's a difference. When you're digging for gold, um, your goal is to find the nuggets, the gold nuggets. But digging for dirt, you're just seeing lots of. I mean, I think you probably understand the analogy. Why it's important for you to find out is because it gives you a sense of identity, and it gives you a sense of grounding. So for me, what it did for me was, it's like, oh, I am important in the grand scheme of things, because life can seem grand and it's like, where do I fit in all of this? But when you're able to search inwards and see that, oh, I've been given gifts, I've been given talent, I've been given strengths that actually matter in the grand scheme of the world. It might not matter to everybody, and
there is a subset.
There's a subset. Just as I like this analogy where they say Coke is like the most popular drink in the world, but not everyone drinks Coke.
For example.
Not everyone. Some people dislike Coke. Some people some other people it's Fanta. So in the same way, you realize your importance in the world and in the grand scheme of things. So it gives you first that grounding. Once you have that grounding, you're now able to share that gift and find the people that are called to you, and share that gift with the world. And what is more rewarding than that? And I believe also that in your gift is where your wealth is. I don't think that your gift and your wealth, or your fortunes, how you make money and how you, I believe that the more value you're able to find in your gifts, the more rewards, monetary and otherwise come to you.
You know, one of the things why I find this conversation also interesting is that while I'm hearing everything else, and I'm also it's also, there are spin-offs just jumping at me here and there. As you were talking about the gift box, something else that dropped in my mind, about opening up the gift boxes. And many times when we don't do the hard work, because it is hard work, of opening up that gift box and exploring what's inside of it, we actually give the world or give the people around us a blank check to define who we are or what gifts that we are. So we allow external influences determine why we are really here, or what we're here for, what this gift box is for. You find the other day I was talking about I put out a video on voices in my head, or or the one on the other video I put up on. You probably find them in the videos.
And link in
The link in bio, as they say.
like with points.
Yeah, but the other video I put it up about where I said I was reading you guys your Miranda rights because many times you've accepted charges or accusations against the real you. You know,
Yeah.
you've allowed other people define who you are not, and you've allowed that shape the trajectory of your life. So you've gone through life believing things because that's what people said about you,
Yeah.
not necessarily because you did the hard work and you were convinced that this is
That's
who you
what,
are.
yeah.
You know, some people go through life because their parents said, you know what, this is who you're gonna be,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
this is, or because people told them your own is too much. You're too loud. Try and some people shrink to become more acceptable versions of themselves.
Yeah.
And in that way, they have taken away the value of that gift box. That gift box was supposed to be large. It was supposed to be extravagant because not all gift boxes will be understated and quiet and calm and conservative. Some will actually be flamboyant.
And there's a reason
and
for
there's a reason
that.
for the flamboyance.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
there's a reason for the luxuriousness or luxury or whatever, you know, of that particular gift box because variety really is the spice of life.
Yeah.
So the good thing about self-discovery, just as an add-on to what she was saying, is the danger of not doing the work of exploring what's inside of you is that you allow other people define who you are, and that's a terrible place to be.
Yes.
It's not a great way to live your life.
No,
I hope that if you don't take anything else from this video, you take this part out of it.
Yeah. No, I agree with everything you've said.
When you were speaking earlier about the idea of the gift boxes, there was something you said that stood out for me. Has just been ringing in my head. You mentioned that on this self-discovery journey of unwrapping the box that we have been given to our world, that in fact there's a connecting link between that and our fortunes, our finding our wealth. And I'm thinking about the fact that as we talk about self-discovery, personhood, understanding your identity, it's important to address the different sources of our identity. One of which is work, career, you know, the structured ways in which we give value to our world and get reward or appreciation for it. I want us to talk a little bit about how important it is to think about the ways in which our self-worth is tied to our work, our meaning-making process of how our career, our giftings or abilities start to define, you know, how successful we think that we are, or how successful our work is based on the value and the appreciation we get for it. Can we talk about that a little?
Of course,
how that defines our identity and why it's important to understand what the best way to come at it, so that you don't go on a on either extremes.
Right. I love how you said the best way to come at it, because I was thinking while you're asking the question that I do think that our work, we're supposed to define ourselves by what we do. I do think that is important. I don't think that it is misplaced that we're tying or that we get a sense of identity from work. Why I say this is because I think that who we are and what we do are supposed to be linked. I don't think that, but where I think the problem happens is that, again, back to that not unwrapping the gift box. I think that because we have not unraveled or we've not looked into the gift box, we're finding ourselves in places that we're not supposed to be. So for our work, we're finding ourselves in places where we have no fit and we have no connection to. And so although we're supposed to get our sense of purpose and self from our work is supposed to be a reflection of who we are. I think that because we're not where we are supposed to be,
because we haven't done the work of
exploring, there's a mismatch between what we see or who we should be and who we see ourselves and
essentially what misrepresentation of our identity.
Yes.
We're not in the right place.
Yes. And so I do think that we are supposed. I think if everything was supposed to go according to design. Exactly. I think that's who we are and what we do there shouldn't be a separation, and I think there should be an interconnectedness between the both of them. However, what we're finding,
Yeah, sorry to just jump in. I think why it's interesting that you spoke about this way. I've always had the idea that you shouldn't be defined by what you do, because I felt like your sense of identity should be much bigger than that. You know how people say, okay, introduce yourself. You say, okay, hi, I'm a doctor.
Yeah.
Being a doctor, I've always thought is it's just your vocation, just what you do. It shouldn't necessarily define your life. In that sense, your work or your occupation shouldn't define your life. That's how I've always thought. Your sense of identity should come from the place of knowing who you are, right? What you do should just be an expression of who you are. But as you're saying it now, ideally it shouldn't be so far linked if the work of expression is actually done correctly. If you know who you are, so that these expressions of them still point back to who you are. So if at the root of it you are, how do I say this? If at the root, let's use the tree analogy, the tree and the fruit. If you are, for example, an orange tree. At the root of it, your sense of identity is productivity, fruitfulness, meeting a need. So whether it's the orange that people pluck from you as fruit for nourishment, for juice, or for all the other things people can,
or the back or the rind, it doesn't matter. You are still an orange.
Yes. You're still a tree that's producing. All is a shade. People come under you for shade. You're still meeting needs. So you're a solution provider.
Yes.
In that sense. So
and an orange tree solution. It's a very specific orange tree solution provider. Yes. So the reason why. Wow. So yes, I think if a child. If as a child you're
guided to,
your gift box is unwrapped and everything. I mean, you're not going to see everything, but as you grow up, everything that is in you, you're discovering all the different strengths, and we should be guiding children to the path where this is in general what the kind of position or the kind of vocation that you should go into. This is what is in line with the things, the giftings, the talents that you have. And then that child is going to be the most effective in that vocation because it is in line with all the different things, with all the different things that they possess, all the different.
And because also a good frame of reference, because they already have a grounded frame of reference about their identity. So no matter where it is they find themselves, they've been equipped with the tools to do the work of saying, okay, is this the right fit? No, it's not right.
Yes. And then
amazing.
So again, having a sense of self identity and purpose. For example, I like to use myself because since I've learned what my purpose is, and my purpose is to help others see, believe, become the best version of their God-given potential. And so I can do this in several different careers. I don't have to be stuck as a life coach. And so I say in this season, I'm a life coach. Next season, I could be a writer.
That makes sense.
Next season, I could be a writer. What as this writer? What am I doing? I'm probably talking about the same things. I'm writing about the same things that I'm speaking about as a life coach or encouraging. I'm doing it on a broader scale. I could do it as a teacher. I could do it as even a doctor. I could do it as a gardener,
as a TV presenter.
I could do it as a hairdresser. As then you're not again having a sense of purpose, and I can do it I can do it as a pastor. I can do it as anything. But what is the purpose of as I'm doing your hair? I know that it's not really the hair. I'm doing it so that I can help you become the best version of yourself. So it's not. So again, it's not always. So even in our careers, we're taught to see it different. We're not taught to see career as purposeful. We're seeing it as many times. At least as a means to an end for money. We're looking at a career for prestige. We're not looking at it from the point of view of what is even in this being a gardener. What is my purpose in this in this
This
job
space,
or this
job,
work
yeah.
or this thing that I find myself doing. So I struggled for a while when I didn't understand. I always was wondering, like, why doesn't this work excite me? It wasn't until like retrospect, they always say, or hindsight is always 2020.
Yeah.
Wasn't until looking back I traced it, and I'm like, oh yeah, no wonder the people have always meant more to me than the work itself, or like the day-to-day runnings of the project. And I was always more interested in the people, and I'm really good friends with everybody I've worked with because my bent is towards people. My bent is towards even maybe if I'm not towards connecting with people. That's what gives me
Finding out what makes them tick and how, in
yes.
some little way, even in your informal engagements, help them see themselves better or differently,
Something
and
like
do
that.
their work better.
Well, I mean, maybe not always as because I don't know. But maybe
Not
not
have been structured, but you do those things tangibly or in some
I think
intangible
just
ways.
interest in people was just palpable, and that has always been something a thread throughout my life. I think one of the things when I was younger, when you asked me what kind of superpower do you want, I always wanted the ability to know what people are thinking. That was always my super.
Oh my goodness.
So I mean, so again, that is indicative of who I am or who I am. And as I say, your purpose is always showing up. You might not be able to articulate it, but it's always showing up. It's always showing up in your life. Yeah.
So, there's something you said about how that when you talk about the struggle and how many times, as you go on this journey of recognizing that there shouldn't really be a separation between who you are and what you do.
Yeah.
I think that the flip side of that is why this is important is if you understand who you really are at the core of it.
Yeah.
What you do, or rather, let me put it this way: if you don't understand who you really are, and you're just accepting of any and every environment, job environment, work, career environment that you find yourself in, it can impact your well-being in ways that ideally you should do negatively.
Say more about that.
Yeah, because you are not the way that when you understand, okay, this is who I really am, and the different outlets or expressions to do this. The way that you tie that's not what now defines your self-worth. So if that work or that career or that outlet, is not measured in certain types of I don't know what I'd say standard of value, it doesn't affect your identity. You don't start to think yourself as less, or as less valuable, or as contributing less because the returns are not as people of the world naturally define it as being big scale or large scale. So whether or not you are in Forbes, or whether or not you are regularly invited to speak at conferences, so long as you know that your work is impacting people, and you can always tie and link it back to who you are, your identity, and it's success for you.
It's success for you.
It's success for you. So it really is important to know who you are first at the root of it, so that the fruits, don't really define who you are.
No, they don't.
Yes. I think that's what just stuck at me as you're speaking. That the importance of this is that your work does not define your sense of self-worth. It does not.
Or can we put it like that? The reception of your work, because it's not because your work, as we said, should actually be a reflection of who you are. But the reception of the value that is placed on your work by others is now not what defines you. So I think because
it defines how valuable you think that you are. How important your contribution is to the world.
Yes.
How important your gift box is.
How important your gift box is.
You don't have to feel like, oh my God, do I really? Is my presence here? Does it count?
Yeah.
Because you have a grounding that you're here for a purpose.
Exactly.
And that you matter.
Exactly.
Amazing. Because I feel like I don't know what I just want. I think that just without even this video even going out or anything, I feel like I have gleaned so much meaning already, and I'm just thinking about my life in several different ways. Wow, but this has been such a robust mine of just gleaning. I feel like we did our own digging of the well today, and there's been just so much clear water springing out, and what an experience this has been. I can't, even if this video doesn't even just go out, just the, of course it'll go out. We're gonna do all this work. It will go out, but I think it's amazing all the lessons that I have just even gleaned for myself, and all the crystallization that has also happened for me. Man, it's incredible. So we're just going to pause here. In the next part, we'll talk a little bit more about how why it's important to understand seasons. You talked a bit about the gift boxes, the environment, why what you do is an important reflection of who you are, or grounding a conviction in that sense. So I think we did talk a little bit more about the journey that comes with, because there'll be a lot of transitions, trying to understand, you, and just being open to learning on this journey. So what where I am currently, what am I learning from here? How am I taking these tools to see that there might be more, or do differently, or whatnot? So I can't wait for the remaining part of how we would talk a little bit more about this, and just articulate some of the questions that will be on some of our minds, and I for one as well. But thank you so much for just all the value you've shared so far. It's incredible, really, really incredible. And you guys, as always, it's this. I don't know if you know how they say a running tap cannot be dry. The more I do this, the more I come on here and have conversations and explore some of the perspectives, the more my life is changing for the better. I'm definitely getting better. I'm becoming a more improved version of myself. And I imagine that the same is happening for you. I want to hear your thoughts about how, some of the things we talk about on this channel are changing the way you see life and the way that you come at life as well. So if we come your way in the next part, I want to encourage you to like, subscribe if you're yet to, okay, and share this video. This might just be the video someone is actually looking out for, or that will help them change something about their lives and live, more intentional and more richer lives. Okay, all right, people of the tube, toodles, bye.